The team at Technology for Hotels knows how busy you are, so we've created this concise briefing to keep you up to date on key happenings in the hotel industry. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the 5-Star Weekly Briefing, your pulse on the hospitality industry.
This week's briefing is brought to you by Saba Hospitality, digitizing the guest journey with award-winning mobile ordering and engagement tools that drive revenue without the need for app downloads.
So today, we're looking at a pretty wild macroeconomic picture.
Yeah.
Because, imagine you're an institutional investor, right? And you're sitting on, say, $50 million in capital right now.
Okay, sure. Nice problem to have.
Right, exactly. But your traditional instinct with that kind of money might be to, buy a prime plot of land, hire a top-tier construction firm, and just build a shiny new high-rise hotel from the ground up.
That's a classic playbook, yeah.
It is, but if you look at the data flowing through the industry this week, doing that would literally be the fastest way to bleed capital.
Wow.
Yeah, the smartest money in the room is executing a completely different strategy right now.
Okay, so what is that playbook? Because, if they're not building, what are they doing?
Well, it's all about this arbitrage window. We are seeing a very specific economic phenomenon unfold, and it's entirely reshaping hotel ownership here.
Right.
So a new Colliers report just came out, and it revealed that transaction volumes across Australia have surged by 75% over the past 12 months.
Wait, 75%? That's a massive jump.
It's a staggering injection of liquidity.
Yeah.
And it's heavily driven by offshore capital, right? Specifically, we're seeing funds really re-engaging from places like Singapore and Thailand.
Okay, so the money is flowing in, but where exactly is it landing?
Well, that's the key. It comes down to the stark reality of replacement costs. You have to look at the mechanics of this arbitrage window.
Right. Because if you're an owner or an investor listening to this, you really need to understand the why here.
Exactly. Think about the economic environment we've been navigating, over the last few years. We've seen just unprecedented inflation in construction materials.
Oh, absolutely. Steel, concrete, glass, it's all through the roof.
Right. Plus, there are severe ongoing labor shortages in the commercial trades, right? And supply chain bottlenecks that just extend project timelines by months, sometimes even years.
Yeah, which just burns cash.
Exactly. So because of those factors, existing hotel assets are currently trading at a price that is significantly below what it would cost to build them from scratch today.
Okay, I see. So if you have the capital ready to deploy, you can just acquire a fully operational premium asset for, what, millions of dollars less than the cost of buying land and pouring a new foundation for that exact same building?
You got it. You are effectively buying real estate at a massive discount relative to its physical replacement value.
That is fascinating. It's essentially a textbook buy, don't build environment right now.
It really is. And the institutional funds, they're capitalizing on it before the next supply peak inevitably hits. But they are being incredibly selective.
How so?
Well, the Colliers report highlights that 67% of this transaction activity is concentrated purely on premium assets.
Oh, so the high end.
Right. Deals well over that $50 million threshold. We're witnessing a definitive flight to quality.
The Salter Brothers' recent activity is actually the perfect case study for this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because they just finalized that $150 million acquisition Aussie dollars of a whole portfolio of boutique luxury retreats spread across New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah, it's a huge move.
But I look at a deal like that and it makes me wonder about the broader market landscape, Are we seeing institutional capital completely abandon the mid-market CBD property in favor of this, what we're calling isolation luxury trend?
Right. Has the city center corporate hotel lost its appeal?
Exactly.
I wouldn't frame it as an abandonment of the CBD per se. It's more of a drastic recalibration of where the highest premiums are placed.
Okay, explain that.
So investors are putting a massive multiplier on locations that are just unreproducible. If you think about a city grid, right? As long as the zoning laws allow it, a developer can always come in, demolish a low-rise, and just build another high-rise right next to yours.
Right. The supply is theoretically uncapped in a city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you cannot manufacture another pristine, secluded coastal retreat or, an untouched hinterland estate.
Yeah. Environmental protections and land scarcity just totally prevent it.
Right. So owners are realizing that if you hold an asset in a geographically unique environment, you essentially hold a structural monopoly on that specific guest experience.
I love that phrase, structural monopoly. The scarcity of the location becomes the ultimate luxury amenity itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the core philosophy driving these valuations right now.
Mhm.
And you see this pivot, this move away from standard high-volume room inventories toward highly tailored, really exclusive experiences everywhere, even outside of remote retreats.
Oh, for sure. I mean, consider the opening of Ennismore's Mondrian Gold Coast.
Right, the new one.
Yeah, they just unveiled their flagship Sky House. This is a penthouse-style residence. It takes up the entire 24th floor, and the rate starts at $4,500 a night.
Wow, 4,500. That is a remarkable price point for the Gold Coast market.
It really is. It completely changes the revenue model for the property.
It does, and the underlying commercial strategy there is vital for anyone listening to understand. It is no longer a game of simply maximizing your key count, right?
Mhm.
Or pushing for 90% occupancy at some moderate daily rate.
Right, churning through guests.
Exactly. The new model is about maximizing the yield per key by offering an environment that feels entirely bespoke, highly exclusive, and completely detached from the everyday. Properties can command these exponential rate premiums.
Yeah, and that desire for a highly localized, bespoke experience, it isn't just changing where tourists choose to sleep. It is fundamentally breaking the traditional mold of how major hotel portfolios operate.
You're talking about the soft brands.
Yes, the rigid cookie-cutter hotel brand is definitely losing ground to the soft brand.
Without a doubt. The acceleration of the soft brand strategy is probably one of the most profound structural shifts in hotel development we've seen in a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the numbers coming out of Accor right now. They're projecting a 65% growth rate for their collection brands.
And that encompasses what? Emblems?
Emblems, the McGallery Hotel Collection, and the Handwritten Collection, yeah.
Right. And the disparity in their portfolio data really tells the whole story here. Because right now, those collection brands make up just 3% of Accor's current global network.
Only 3%.
Right. Yet they represent 8% of their entire development pipeline. They have 125 of these hotels currently in the works.
That is a massive strategic overweighting toward individuality.
It is. It reflects a fundamental shift in what asset owners are actually willing to accept these days.
Yeah, because if you own a culturally significant, visually stunning independent hotel, the absolute last thing you want to do is rip out your localized lobby or change the name above the door.
Just to meet some global conglomerate's rigid brand standard for, the exact dimensions of a reception desk.
Exactly. Owners want to retain the soul and the operational flexibility of their property.
But they also face a really harsh reality, which is that independent boutiques struggle to compete with the marketing budgets of the giants.
Oh, absolutely. They desperately need the backbone of a major management group's rewards program and their global distribution network.
Right, and the soft brand completely solves that tension. You keep your unique identity, but you plug your property into this massive global ATI that funnels direct bookings straight to your front desk.
It's the best of both worlds. That combination of operational independence and institutional distribution is exactly why EVT is aggressively expanding its independent collection.
Oh yeah, they just secured a new high-end boutique partnership in Auckland using this exact model.
Right. And Choice Hotels provides another brilliant example with their Ascend Hotel collection. That brand just surpassed the 500 property milestone globally.
That's huge, and their footprint in our region is growing rapidly too. They have 83 locations across Asia Pacific now, which includes the upcoming the Ellen in Port Pirie, South Australia.
Yeah, it's a great property.
It really proves that owners in regional areas see the value of balancing their property's unique character with the sheer scale of, say, the Choice Privileges loyalty platform.
It does. But, while we spend a lot of time analyzing high-end bespoke properties and $4,500 penthouses,
Which is fun to talk about.
it is.
Yeah.
But we have to acknowledge the commercial reality of the broader market.
I'm glad you brought that up because it really is easy to get distracted by the ultra-luxury headlines. Let me play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
Isn't everyday domestic travel still the absolute bedrock of the hospitality industry? The bespoke retreats might capture the institutional capital we were talking about, but the lights stay on across the industry because of the everyday drive to regional market.
The data supports your point entirely.
Right.
I mean, the structural stability of the industry is firmly anchored in the regions.
Right.
Choice Hotels, Asia Pacific, just renewed major regional franchise agreements across both Australia and New Zealand. That is a clear, undeniable signal of long-term confidence in the stability of the drive to market.
Yeah, because when international arrival numbers fluctuate due to, economic headwinds or airline capacity issues, domestic travel remains the primary dependable revenue driver.
Exactly. Owners in the regions are reaffirming the value of those global distribution systems, specifically to capture that steady, everyday domestic demand.
And we're seeing smart, neighborhood integrated assets being developed to serve this exact purpose,
We
aren't we?
are. The Veriu Group, for instance, they recently launched Punhill Narrabundah over in Canberra.
Right.
It's an 86-key property specifically engineered for the extended stay market. So they're capturing government and corporate long-term project workers.
That's a very smart play. Another strong example is the new Crown Plaza Melbourne Carlton. It's a 107-key property, and what's interesting is that it doesn't try to be an isolated fortress.
No, not at all.
It is beautifully integrated into the existing cultural fabric of that inner city suburb. These are highly defensive, smart assets that generate incredibly stable yields.
It creates a really fascinating contrast, doesn't it?
Mm.
On one hand, you have domestic stability, prioritizing neighborhood integration. And on the other hand, you have massive international debuts happening simultaneously. Yet even those giant properties are trying to act small and local now.
It's so true. The scale of the international pipeline is still really robust. Marriott International just debuted their 256-room Sugata Hotel Osaka Shinsaibashi in Japan.
Right.
Meanwhile, Radisson Hotel Group officially opened the Radisson Blu Resort in Phuket Mai Beach. That's a 222-key property featuring an 80-meter beachfront infinity pool.
An 80-meter pool. That's incredible. But the interesting element of that Phuket resort isn't just the architecture, right? It's the operational philosophy.
Exactly. They are leaning heavily into community engagement. Like, they're actively working with local cultural icons like the Mai Khao Temple.
Yeah.
And they're partnering with sustainability-focused organizations like the Soy Dog Foundation.
Which is fantastic. And it proves that even operators of 200-plus key resorts realize they can no longer exist as walled gardens.
Right. To attract modern traveler, you really have to weave yourself authentically into the local fabric.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time discussing where the leisure guest is sleeping, whether they're choosing a secluded retreat, an independent boutique, or a locally integrated resort.
Yeah.
But let's shift our focus to the corporate traveler for a minute.
Okay, let's do it.
How are corporate guests meeting? And more importantly, how are their travel managers booking those stays in 2026?
Well, the corporate sector is undergoing a quiet revolution right now. Let's look at the MIC market meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions.
Right.
Pan Pacific Hotels Group, or PPHG, they just rolled out their global Every Meeting Matters campaign across their key Australian properties in Perth, Melbourne, and Sydney.
And they are targeting an incredibly lucrative segment there. The Asia-Pacific MIC market alone is projected to reach $355 billion US.
It's massive, and PPHG is structuring their offering around exactly what modern corporate planners demand, which is wellness-led programming and highly advanced hybrid meeting technology.
But, the real story isn't just the technology inside the conference room. It's the technology powering the booking systems behind the scenes.
Oh, this is the really wild stuff.
It is. According to the newly released Navigating AI 2026 report by Canary Technologies, the hospitality industry has officially exited the experimental pilot phase of artificial intelligence.
Thank goodness.
Right. We are now firmly in what they call the adoption era.
And the financial commitments from major organizations really prove that this is no longer just a buzzword. The report notes that 85% of hospitality organizations are now dedicating at least 5% of their total IT budgets directly to AI infrastructure.
Yeah, that is not speculative research and development money. That is operational, mission-critical funding.
Definitely. And as we look into the business travel show Asia Pacific, the most urgent trend dominating the agenda is the shift from what we call assistive AI to agentic AI.
Right, and this is arguably the most significant technological leap since hotels transitioned from paper ledgers to digital property management systems.
Let's break down that distinction because the terminology can get pretty dense for people.
Please do.
If you think about assistive AI, it was essentially like cruise control in a car. You had a chat bot on your hotel website, but a human staff member still had to sit there, monitor the conversation, and basically grab the steering wheel the moment the customer asked a complex question or got frustrated.
Right, just assisted.
Exactly. But agentic AI is entirely different. It is like taking your hands completely off the wheel.
Yeah.
These are autonomous software agents that actively monitor a corporate traveler's itinerary. So if a flight gets canceled, the agentic AI automatically reaccommodates the flight, rebooks the hotel for an extra night, handles the payment, and confirms it.
Wow.
And all of this happens without a human travel manager ever clicking a single button.
Your analogy really highlights the core operational challenge for hotels today. This raises an incredibly urgent issue for any revenue managers or IT directors listening right now.
Yeah.
If your hotel's back-end application programming interfaces, your APIs are not updated to be agent-readable, your property is going to become functionally invisible to the corporate travel market.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to picture the real-world mechanics of this API issue.
Sure.
If I am running a successful hotel and my systems are not agent-readable, does the AI literally just skip my property because it can't understand my digital language?
That is exactly what happens.
Wow.
Yeah, these autonomous agentic AI tools from corporate travel platforms, they are scanning the market at lightning speed to rebook a stranded executive or, secure a block of rooms for a conference.
Right.
If your inventory management system requires a human on your end to manually approve a block, or if your API does not format its real-time availability in a standardized way that the AI can instantly parse, verify, and execute a booking against.
The AI just moves on.
The AI does not wait. It drops the connection in a millisecond and instantly books your competitor across the street.
That is terrifying.
The stakes are immense. Considering that by 2030, an estimated 66% of all corporate travel programs will rely on these autonomous agents.
So the financial penalty for being technologically illiterate in this environment is basically a total loss of corporate market share.
Yes.
But on the flip side, the upside for hotels that integrate this properly is massive. Marriott International recently reported a 22% improvement in revenue per available room RevPAR that they directly attribute to AI-driven dynamic pricing models.
Right. And the mechanism behind that 22% improvement is pure algorithmic speed.
Yeah.
Because a human revenue manager, no matter how experienced they are, can only analyze so many data points in a single day.
Exactly. You have to sleep eventually.
Right. But an AI pricing engine is micro-adjusting room rates minute by minute based on real-time flight cancellations, local event ticket sales, competitor pricing changes, and historical booking velocity.
It's constantly learning.
Exactly. It identifies and capitalizes on these micro-surges in demand before a human would even notice the trend.
Which brings us to really the ultimate paradox of hospitality in 2026. As autonomous systems take over the back end, the dynamic pricing, the API handshakes, the corporate reaccommodations, the human element on the hotel floor becomes the ultimate luxury differentiator.
That is so true.
When the machines handle the math, the humans are finally free to handle the hospitality. And we are seeing some fascinating leadership moves this week that reflect this exact philosophy.
Oh, absolutely. The caliber of leaders stepping into new roles right now is a testament to the importance of the human touch. Look at Mark Handel. He has just been appointed as the managing director at the flagship Dusit Thani Bangkok.
That's a huge role.
It is. This is a highly complex multi-asset operation that includes the upcoming Dusit residences.
And his appointment is incredibly strategic. I mean, he brings over 30 years of top-tier luxury experience from brands like Park Hyatt, Aman, and Rosewood.
Yeah.
If you are operating a property in an era where AI handles all the operational friction, the guest's perception of value rests entirely on emotional intelligence, anticipation of needs, and hyper-personalized service.
Spot on.
That ultra-luxury background is exactly what is required to curate a soul within a technologically advanced building.
And we are seeing that emphasis on human-centric leadership right across the region. When you look at the board this week, you see heavy hitters moving into key positions everywhere.
Yeah, who else is moving?
Well, we've got Dean Palmer taking over as general manager at Crowne Plaza Perth.
Nice.
Tony Hart is stepping in as GM at Hotel Indigo Adelaide Markets. And across the ditch, Chris Eamon takes the role of regional GM for New Zealand at Hilton.
Oh, right. We also have Ann Kerr bringing her expertise as the new assistant hotel manager at TFE Hotels, while Anthony Phillips joins as international hotelier at Park Regis Singapore. And it's not just front-of-house leadership either, right? The operational backbone is being fortified as well.
Definitely. EVT is making really strong internal moves, with Jason Deeth taking on the vital role of director of housekeeping.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Rochelle Feston is stepping up as engineering and compliance manager.
That's fantastic. Every single one of these leaders is stepping into an environment that is radically different from the industry they joined decades ago.
Completely different.
And if you place these human appointments against the backdrop of the autonomous agentic AI revolution we just unpacked, it leaves you with a deeply provocative question to consider regarding the future of leadership.
It really does. Because if you are managing a property today, what does the future of the general manager role actually look like to you?
Right.
If agentic AI is autonomously managing your back-end APIs and dynamically pricing your rooms minute by minute to optimize RevPAR.
And handling corporate rebookings without you lifting a finger.
Exactly. Does the role of a general manager shift entirely away from commercial and revenue strategy?
That's the question. Does the job of a hotel leader become 100% focused on human psychology, cultivating team culture, and delivering profound guest empathy?
It is a profound shift in job design.
Yeah.
The leaders who thrive in the next decade will be the ones who let the algorithms manage the spreadsheets while they obsess relentlessly over the human experience.
That wraps up this week's 5-Star Weekly Briefing. Thanks for tuning in and staying informed with the latest in the hotel industry.
Don't forget to check out our 5-Star Conversations podcast, where Brendan Granger from Technology for Hotels sits down with the industry's most influential leaders to uncover their journeys, insights, and the future of hospitality. It's a must-listen for anyone passionate about elevating their guest experience and driving innovation in the hotel world.
Until next time, stay well and stay ahead. See you next week.